Hello everyone and welcome back to Closet's Gaming. Today we are going to take a look at Atomine. This twin-stick shooter with small roguelike elements tries to interpret how hacking could look in the distant future. You become a hacking tool trying to overcome layers of security by killing them. It is available on Steam for €9.99 or your regional equivalent. So, Atomine is one of the most prototypical twin-stick shooters I have seen in a very long time. It features a top-down view, powers up, and a decent number of enemies to defeat in each level and the occasional boss fight. It does offer a few twists to these mechanics, but none of them are really anything we haven't seen before. What it does offer is a very distinct visual style. But right now, we are going to talk about the mechanics of the game. I should start by saying that I have played this game almost exclusively using a keyboard and mouse to control it. I did try to use the control and it does work well, but I just prefer the precision of the mouse aim. So let's begin by the combat. And as you might expect from a twin-stick shooter, you move, you aim, and you shoot. There really isn't much else to the combat at its very core. There aren't any dodge mechanics. It's all up to you to move in a pattern so you avoid all the incoming damage, and it's all up to you to aim properly to hit your foes. And to be honest, I found it almost refreshing to see a twin-stick shooter that sticks to the roots of the genre. So many developers try to be too clever for their own good these days, introducing new complex mechanics, but they forget the most important thing: fun. And the brutal simplicity of combat in Atomine does actually provide quite a lot of fun. But even then, there is one way to alter your combat experience. More specifically, there are upgrades you will find for your weapon during each run. These are randomly generated and you unlock them as you play the game, giving you incentive to replay it. Yes, these are the roguelike elements of the game. There really isn't anything special about them, but they do work pretty well. These upgrades always fall into one of four categories. They can alter the shot type of your weapon, the amount of projectiles you fire, the rate of fire, and they can add an attribute to your shot. And on top of that, we have a leveling system here. Just the levels are called versions instead of levels. These always provide you with one of four options that do vary a lot. But what would a shooter be without enemies to shoot at? The number of enemies in each level is quite decent. Usually it's around 15 to 30 enemies. This might seem like quite a small number, especially if you take into consideration the amounts of enemies that you can usually find in other twin-stick shooters, where the numbers can reach even thousands of enemies per level. But this smaller number makes each playthrough much quicker and thus makes this game much more available for just a quick 10 to 15 minute game before you need to go and do something different. The enemies themselves are quite varied, though because of the aesthetic sometimes, especially in the heat of the battle, you will struggle to figure out what the attack pattern of the enemies you are fighting is, and to be honest, this is probably my only gripe with how the combat feels, because other than this issue, and even this one is quite small because you never get completely overwhelmed by the number of enemies on screen, the combat is quick, fun, and very much skill based, and I really like that. Okay, so that's it about the combat. Now on to the graphics. As you can see from the footage in the video, Atomine has a very distinct graphical style. It uses the contrast of just a few colors, mostly black and white with occasional different colors sprinkled in, like green for weapon attacks to get the job done. And honestly, I quite like this aesthetic. It is simple, yet it manages to provide a sense of being inside a futuristic hacking tool. Performance-wise, I do have one big issue. I have been getting frame drops quite a lot, and in a game that should be all about fluid gameplay, this is quite the issue. At least I haven't seen any bugs or crashes, but the frame drops really need to be solved with a patch. So, in conclusion, Atomine is a decent twin-stick shooter, but to be honest, I wouldn't recommend it for its price. There are tons of good twin-stick shooters out there and you can get most of them for a cheaper price than this. So if you want this right now, most likely for its aesthetic, go and buy it. It's not a bad game, but I urge you to wait for a sale if you aren't in a rush to buy this. Well, that's it for today, guys. Hope you liked the review, and if you did, please consider liking it, subscribing to my channel for more gaming reviews, or comment if you had something you would like to add. And if you didn't like the video, well, dislike it. See you all next time with more gaming content.